Hello my dear students, in this video we are continuing with history portion lesson 3, the Delhi Sultanate. In the introduction part we discussed about the Turkish conquest of North India, Muhammad Ghori's invasion and establishment of Delhi Sultanate. In the 11th century many rulers were there in India, but they were very weak. So many foreigners, especially Muhammad Ghori, they came to India and they attacked India and they plundered and they destroyed palaces, temples, etc., etc., etc. Okay, and after the death of Muhammad Ghori, his slave Qutbuddin Aibak became the next king, and he declared himself as the Sultan of the Turkish territories in India, and he made Delhi as his capital. These are the things we learned in the first video, in the last class. And here I am going to explain about the important dynasty, that is slave or Mamluk dynasty. I told you in the last class also, Qutbuddin Aibak, originally he was a slave. Actually he was a slave, he was a servant of Muhammad Ghori. And the dynasty established by him is called a slave or Mamluk dynasty. He was a slave, he started this dynasty. So this dynasty is called slave dynasty or Mamluk dynasty. Mamluk means slave or son of a slave, because Qutbuddin Aibak, he was a slave of Muhammad Ghori. He started this dynasty, he established this dynasty. That is why this dynasty is called slave dynasty or Mamluk dynasty. And he was a strong and able, generous ruler. He was a great builder and he constructed many things. Especially he built India's oldest mosque and he started the construction of Qutub Minar in Delhi. Okay, but after the death of Qutbuddin Aibak, his son-in-law, he became the next ruler. What was the name of the son-in-law? Iltutmish. Iltutmish became the next ruler after the death of Qutbuddin Aibak. And he made an organization. After the death of Qutbuddin Aibak, his son-in-law became the next ruler. For crushing the power of his enemies, he made a group. He organized Iltutmish organized a group of powerful Turkish nobles. And what was the name of the organization? It's called Khalisa. To overcome his enemies, Iltutmish, he made an organization. It is called Khalisa. So now we are going to study about another important prominent ruler, that is Ghiyasuddin Balban. Okay. After the death of Iltutmish, his daughter Razia Sultana became the next ruler, and she also died in 1240. So after several weak rulers, Ghiyasuddin Balban, he became the next ruler, and he was a powerful member of Khalisa. Khalisa was established or organized by Iltutmish, isn't it? So Ghiyasuddin Balban, he was the member of Khalisa. And here we are going to discuss about the conquest of Alauddin Khalji. When we will discuss about Alauddin Khalji, we have to study one more name, that is Malik Kafur. Malik Kafur, he was an commander, he was the ablest commander of Alauddin. With the help of Malik Kafur, Alauddin, he ruled, he captured almost the whole of India. Okay. Alauddin, he sent his commander Malik Kafur to bring the rich states of Deccan under his control. And in 1313, the Yadavas of Devagiri, the Kakatiyas of Warangal, the Hoysalas of Dwarsamandra and Pandyas and Madurai had all accepted Alauddin's overlordship. That means almost all the parts of India, it was under the control of Alauddin. With the help of Malik Kafur, he captured many places, or he ruled almost the whole of India. Okay. Here we are going to study about another important dynasty, that is Tughlaq dynasty. This dynasty started by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, established by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq in 1320. He was also an efficient ruler. After the death of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, his son Jona Khan became the next ruler, and Jona Khan adopted a title. What was that? Muhammad bin Tughlaq. We will get more information about Muhammad bin Tughlaq from the book of Ibn Battuta. He was a efficient ruler. He had received education, literature, religion and philosophy, etc., etc. And Muhammad bin Tughlaq made many plans, grand, big plans. But these plans, or they were never carried out properly. He had many big plans, but actually it was a failure. All the plans was a failure. What was the plans? First, he tried to shift his capital, decided to shift his capital to a place, say, from Mongol attack, from escaping, or he wants to escape from Mongol attack. So he decided that he is going to shift his capital. For that, he chose Daulatabad in the Deccan. And for shifting his capital, he made many roads to help officials and nobles from Delhi to shift to the new capital. But when he realized that the northwestern frontier could not be controlled from Daulatabad, and after some days he realized that it is very difficult. Daulatabad, he cannot control all the places from Daulatabad. So he shifted the capital back to Delhi. And this was the reason for the financial crisis, financial loss, and many people died. Many people, they become homeless because of this foolish decision. Okay, and second one, campaigns. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he planned a military campaign in Central Asia, but this was also a failure. He failed to carry it out after spending heavily on the arrangements. He undertook an ill-planned campaign in Tibet, which caused a heavy loss of life. This was also a failure. And taxation. I told you, first he shifted his capital, and for campaign also he spent lot of money. To meet the expenses of the army, the Sultan increased the land tax. Okay, and many farmers, they were not ready to give the money. They were not ready to give the tax. So many farmers rose in rebellion. But large areas were laid waste, resulting in a famine. Many farmers, they were not ready to cultivate any crops in their farm, in the field. So it caused famine. And the Sultan had to provide 6 months supplies from the royal granary at cheap rates. Peasants had to be given loans to restore cultivation. For meet the expense of the army, Sultan, he increased the taxes. The peasants, they were not ready to pay the tax, and they stopped cultivation. For helping the peasants, the Sultan, he provide 6 months supplies from the royal granary at cheap rates, and peasants had to be given loans to restore cultivation. And next, token currency. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he was impressed with the paper currency introduced in China. So he also decided, so to overcome a shortage of silver in India, he introduced bonds and token coins of the same value as silver coins. The Sultan, however, failed to check forgery of the bronze coin. The value of the currency fell sharply. The heaps of bronze coins were discarded on the streets on the capital. Naturally, the common people, they also started to make the coins. So the money become priceless. Okay, and Muhammad bin Tughlaq's unsuccessful experiments lowered his prestige. Revolts broke out in many parts of his empire, and provinces began to break away. Muhammad bin Tughlaq died in 1351. First, he shifted his capital. It was a failure, and he decided a military campaign. This was also a failure, and he increased taxes. So, these are the decisions. It was It was a wrong decision done by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and he died in 1351. Up to here it is enough. You read again and again. If you have any doubt, you can ask through the comment.